Hey guys, welcome back to the Mythcast. I'm the storyteller, and today we'll be talking about Percy Jackson and the Olympians, episodes 5 through 6. Sadly, as you can see, the Keeper is not here with me again this week. He's having some personal issues, but he will come back as soon as he can, don't worry. Today's episode is a fun one because, wow, what a crazy set of episodes. It's honestly insane. I've really enjoyed these last 2 episodes, honestly. It's really been something enjoyable and a much funner watch this go around. I've watched the first few episodes, obviously, I enjoyed it and I did review them. The Keeper liked them a much more than I did. He has a much stronger connection to Percy Jackson, but honestly, these episodes really brought it back as one of my favorite shows of the year so far. Well, last year. But spoiler warning, today we'll be talking about episodes 5 and 6 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Let's start with Annabeth. In episode 5 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, they need to escape Cersei's island to get free, to go to the island where they need to find Grover and the Golden Fleece. And stopping all the people on this island, because there's a lot of people on this island. It is so much. They need to go through the sirens. And they try to use the technique that Odysseus did in the Odyssey. But they find out by Cersei that he did not use regular wax to cover his ears. He had magic wax that came from the god of bees in Greek mythology. Come to find out, Cersei has been lying to everybody on this island, promising them that they can be free. And do I understand how she was doing this take? Because she's incredibly lonely. So it does really make sense, in my point of view, why she's doing this. But the way she's doing it is just evil. She's cursed to be on this island. We all know that. But forcing all these people to be stuck on your island just to have some company is kind of messed up. Of course, Percy, being the main character, ends up finding out pretty quick. And he gets turned to a guinea pig. And it's just crazy to me that happened. I really thought the episode was going to end there. But Annabeth comes in and she finds out almost instantly. Honestly, their connection is something else. You can really tell that they're falling in love with each other, especially with something that Percy said, I believe either later or earlier in the episode. It is obvious that they love each other. It's too obvious. Obviously, people who have read the books know they end up getting together, and Percy ends up giving up his godhood to be with her. So I love seeing early signs of Percabeth, or that's how the Keeper was calling it. They end up finding the earwax and trying to escape. But on their way escaping, they realize there's no more, and that Cersei used it all. That's why nobody had escaped from the island in so long, because she was giving some people the earwax to cheat just so it gives everybody hope. And here's the point I'm getting at, that Annabeth is so prideful. Because on the island, they have to do a series of tests to prove what their greatest flaw is. And it just shows that Annabeth is way too prideful. The sirens show you whatever they can to get you up to them. And Annabeth saw the sirens. She thought she didn't see no vision. She thought she was tricking the sirens, just being herself. She wasn't affected, she thought. And she thought she tricked them. Then the goddess of wisdom, Athena herself, came down and killed the sirens and completely freed her. She thought that she had beaten them out of just pure skill. Turns out that was the illusion the whole time. But Percy, loving Annabeth so much, was not affected by the siren song, and he was able to save her. So I really understand the take they have here. Being the daughter of Athena must give you some type of pride, even if you were never even seen your mother. If I was the son of Athena, honestly, I would be incredibly prideful. Because imagine being the son of the goddess of war. That is just another level of, like, a flex almost, Keeping on that same, area, we find out what Percy's greatest fear, or not greatest fear, but greatest flaw is. And honestly, that goes back to the Percabeth thing, because his greatest fear is doing whatever he can for friendship. And I know friendship is different than love. Well, relationship love, because you can love your friends. But when he found that out, he went to go talk to Annabeth, and this is what the Keeper's favorite part of the episode we were talking about the other day. Percy had said if it came down to burning Olympus or saving Annabeth, he wouldn't hesitate to burn the whole mountain down. Honestly, that was supposed to show his loyalty to his friendship, but as me and the Keeper saw, it really just showed more his love for Annabeth and how it was just like, building up in his heart. How he truly loved her, and he truly loves her. And that even shows more in episode 6, because the love he has for her is just on another level. It's to the point where he doesn't even understand what it is. He doesn't understand the concept of love. He thinks it's just friendship, because he has a strong connection with Grover too. But I personally don't think he would completely destroy Olympus. He would probably find another route. To continue with Grover's point of view, in the previous episode, let me go back a little bit, there was a huge flood causing everybody to supposedly die. And that's how we got to this point, even in the first place, showing where everybody is at in Cersei's Island, So honestly, I really did enjoy seeing Polyphemus, and the episode of him here. It's really cool to see how it is, like the difference between the Odyssey and Epic, because I've talked about before how I really did enjoy Epic the Musical, and I really did enjoy reading the Odyssey and all that. And seeing that part was so cool, like the parts where they mentioned Odysseus and the Odyssey really felt fun and cool to me. So like even the little things, like seeing the sheep, seeing that seeing how Polyphemus is half blind, was really, really cool. In the episode, after the flood that happened in the previous one, we are led to assume that Ares' daughter, I'm blanking on her name right now, died. But it turns out she made it to Polyphemus' island and was about to grab the Golden Fleece when she got captured by Polyphemus in the first place. Grover sees this and he tries to break her free, and they almost escape, almost. But then Polyphemus comes and he sees that Grover is not a satyr. Obviously, he is a satyr, not a cyclops like he is, and he traps both of them up. It turns out that this whole time, Polyphemus knew that he was a satyr because he has super smell and super hearing. And every time that him and Percy would talk in their dreams, Grover was talking in his sleep. So Polyphemus knew the entire time that Percy Jackson was coming, that Grover was a satyr, and he was just waiting time because he loved eating demigods. And so honestly, that was an incredibly good plot twist, and how they did that, I really enjoyed it. And I really didn't see that coming. And I didn't know Polyphemus had the ability to mimic voices. That's how he was able to trick Ares' daughter. Again, I'm still blanking on her name, sorry. And it was really cool to see that unfold in that episode. Then, by the time the episode really ends, Annabeth and Percy finally, they break free from the Sirens' attack, and they end up making it to Polyphemus' island. That's where the episode ends, and that's where episode 6 begins. And that, was really cool. One little thing about like the sirens and stuff that I thought was incredibly different and well done was this show's take on the sirens. Because normally when you see sirens, you almost see them as like mermaids, pretty much. Sirens were not always mermaids. Originally, they were like chicken flying beasts, and in every version they're really ugly, and then they just use their voice to trick you into thinking they're beautiful. But in this version, they're like cool stone monsters, and I think that's really cool. It gives it like a unique interpretation than the average version of it, and I really, really do like that. Last thing about episode 5 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians that I want to bring up, because I personally just think it's really cool. It's not all that important to the plot, but it kind of shows like the level of magic Cersei has, is when Percy got turned to a guinea pig and Annabeth came in and freed him. there was a lot of other people who got turned to guinea pigs. People who also found out her secret, Cersei's secret. And Annabeth ended up freeing all of them, and not just Percy. And one of them happened to be Blackbeard. And he still looked young. So that just proves that Cersei's magic keeps everybody young and around for as long as possible, because Blackbeard was supposed to have died in like the 1800s. So the fact that he's around and he looks young is crazy. And when you zoom out, you can even see his ship. And it looked like it was in good condition. So maybe Cersei's Island has like a Neverland effect where you don't age. I'm not sure though. Honestly, I would think that's pretty cool. That's the end of episode 5. Pretty good episode. Now we're going to be talking about episode 6. Episode 6 is where season 2 stops feeling like an adventure and starts feeling like a burden. Up to this point, things happen to Percy. Here, he chooses. What I like about this episode, it doesn't really say it loudly, the shift. It just happens. It doesn't announce it. It just shows it. And it's really something different. And it really makes it feel alive in a sense. The quest stops being about finishing a task and becomes preventing something worse. Percy isn't punished by prophecy in this episode. He walks into it, and the choice closes doors behind him. This really matters because the future mistakes aren't accidents. It's something that he caused to save Annabeth in this episode. It's something that he did to himself in a sense. He gave the Golden Fleece to the guy so he can save Annabeth, and which he does save Annabeth, but honestly to the point where some might say he shouldn't have, because now the Golden Fleece is with people and they can really restore Kronos back to the way he was. This loss feels earned. It's not a random loss. He not deserves it, but it's something that he came up with, and it's on him to understand what really is going on. This episode really nails something about Percy Jackson, and does it well. The gods aren't evil, they're rigid. And here's why. They cause damage without malice, and that's why the kids are the ones paying the price. The gods they don't care about what's going on. They just do what they need to do, or what they feel like is what they should do. The gods don't need to have moral compasses, because they are the top dogs. They have nothing to worry about. The real threat comes into focus in this episode. By episode 6, the show stops pretending that it's a monster of the weak situation. It's about decay, forgotten power, and old mistakes resurfacing. Strengths won't fix it, and why every solution costs something. Even some subtle foreshadowing of loss. There's a quiet warning baked into this episode. Nothing dramatic, just a sense that something important isn't making it to the end of the season. The tone shift is permanent. Episode 6 is where the season grows up. From here on out, the humor thins and the weight stacks. In this episode, you can point and say that this is what happened. This is what everything is really turning point. This is the turning point of the episode. This is what shows everybody that Percy isn't a kid no more. Sure, he may be, like 13, but he knows the consequences of his actions. He is the reason why. Sure, Annabeth is back, but now they can revive Kronos. And that weight is on his shoulder. He already knows from the previous episode that I talked about that his greatest flaw is love for his friends. And he's really going to show that in this episode. And he really shows that in this episode by sacrificing pretty much the world just so that Annabeth can come back to life. Episode 6 isn't flashy, but it's foundational. It's the episode where the myth stops asking what happens next and starts asking what will it cost. And that's my episode. That's my take on episodes 5 and 6. Sure, the Keeper wasn't here this week, and he really is not feeling too well. So I really hope that I can get him in next week, because I know y'all miss his take on these episodes. The conversations really flow a lot much better when the Keeper is here. But until then, I'm the storyteller, and I want you guys to stay mythic, and I'll see you guys next week.